Aloha, this is Kat. I'm at the end of the day after having worked in the yard all day, did a lot of waiting, and I'm over at one of the places that I take care of the cat when the people are gone, and so I've been doing that for 12 years. But I wanted to talk about stories, and it has to do with, why I'm posting videos again. And I'd recently watched a movie called Memorial Day, and it was the actor who played in Babe. Anyway, it was about his grandson who had discovered a trunk in the storage area, and it had all these memories and mementos from his life, his grandfather's life. And he brought the box out, and he wanted the grandfather to tell his stories about the mementos in there. And it was a very interesting movie, and it contrasted with the World War II, and then the grandson was reflecting back when he was an adult in Afghanistan, and how the two stories kind of commingled. But what was interesting is how reluctant the grandfather was at first to tell his stories. And then he was talking about memories and mementos. When you save them, when you save something as a memento to remember, you remember the bad. A lot of that was war, was a lot of bad memories. And then he realized towards the end that it was his stories, and he really benefited from being able to tell his stories. And then at the one of the themes that kind of went through the movie was his grandfather really loved the sound of the birds singing their songs, and that he'd just like to listen to their songs. And at the end, the quote that kind of ended the movie, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but it, so shut me off now if you don't want to have it. But it was grandfather was just had written a letter to his grandson that his grandson got after he had passed away. And he was just reflecting, the grandfather was reflecting back on having told his stories to his grandson, and how he was so glad he had, and that he'd finally made the connection as far as being able to tell your stories, and his love of the birds. And he says, because when the birds tell their stories, they actually sing their stories. And I thought that was so beautiful. I tried to find the exact quote someplace, but I hadn't been, and I should have rewound the movie and typed it out. But so it's something like that. But it did give me that little push I needed to say, I'm going to sing my stories. I've lived a lot of lives, good and ups and downs and everything like that, and I want to share those. If one or two want to listen, that's great. But I just need to sing my song. Aloha.